Alright there folks, hope you're all keeping safe. Today I thought I'd take a look at the Marvel Legends Joe Fix-It, or Grey Hulk Wave, Jocasta. So, let's get down to it, shall we? This particular figure I managed to pick up from the fine folks over at Comics and Cocktails. As always, I recommend checking them out, they're a great site. Yeah, and if you do buy from them, just maybe let them know I recommended them. Okay then, before I get into the review proper, I'll do what I usually tend to do, and just go into the background of the character a little bit. Now, I'm pretty sure most people out there know who Ultron is. They're probably used to the MCU version. The comic book version, pretty much the same, except rather than it being Tony Stark, it was Hank Pym, Ant-Man, who created him. And, like in the movies, at one point he created a son, the Vision. Now, of course, as I'm pretty sure you're probably aware, that didn't really work out. But he had the idea still to create more family, and in the Avengers issue 162, he decided to make himself a bride. And to do so, he kidnapped Janet Van Dyne, the Wasp, built a robotic body, and decided to implant her brain patterns into it. And obviously, rather creepily, now that I think about it, marry that robot. Yeah, that was a bit weird. Anyway, he christened the robot Jocasta. And as you can probably imagine, with the Wasp's brain patterns being part of her makeup, she really didn't want to marry him, betrayed him, and helped save the Avengers. And several issues later, she returned and joined the Avengers, and from then onwards became a regular Marvel character, appearing in some of my actual favourite books, and including, let's think of a good example here. Oh, I know, Marvel 2-in-1 with The Thing. That was a good book. Actually, it was there when she met the future love of her robotic life, Aaron Stack, the Machine Man. And their relationship would continue till this day. In fact, that relationship carried over to some of my favourite books. For example, Marvel Zombies 3. That's a great, Marvel, a modern Marvel horror book. The third in the Marvel Zombies series, but in my opinion, probably the best of all the Marvel Zombies movies. Oh, wait, comic books. Well, it was like a movie. It plays out like a really good horror movie in comic book form. I actually really recommend it if you can track down a copy of it. Now, one thing I probably need to bring up with Jocasta is her design. She is what's the phrase, dummy thick? I mean, I've heard of buns of steel, but she's often drawn with buns of pure adamantium, and it's occasionally a running joke that she's technically naked. Running around, it gets sorted out in future issues, but I just thought I'd bring up that she's got a very sort of sexualized design. I feel dirty now saying that. Anyway, it gets sorted out, I say, in the future. She returns in one of my favourite series of recent years in Iron Man, where she's working for Tony Stark, and she does actually wear clothing. Quite nice, snazzy business suits. That series actually also covers the fact, or just say goes into detail about her mental state. She, what's the best way to put this? She accepts she's a machine, but she really wants to be human, and even pretends to be human at times, using sort of hollow projections to make herself look human, though it doesn't always go well. This series had one of my, one of those moments that I really felt sad, when she's attacked by security, because security at Stark thinks she's an intruder, and they don't realise it's her, and she's just trying to blend in with the rest of the workers, and it really gets to her that she just wanted to blend in, and in turn gets to me, or it got to me, she just wants to be accepted. And I won't spoil how the series ends, but it's actually a really good, emotional story for her. But anyway, yeah, no matter what is actually happening to Jocasta in the comic books, one thing is definitely for certain, certain, shall I say, she is still a badass, and she will continue to be the badass robot babe of Marvel Comics. Right, now onto the actual figure itself. This figure is, I think, a sort of resculpt of the Moonstone figure. It uses that female Moonstone book, which works for the figure because it is, as I said, a thick mould. It's quite bootylicious. Oh god, that sounded awful. But it works for the character. I mean, it's okay. The lower legs, the backside, that's definitely Moonstone. Obviously with other details have been sculpted on though, like her actual, well, not costume details, her body details, they're all raised, they're not just painted elements, they're actually raised, sculpted elements. They've been painted a lighter silver, and I think they look really good. Her arms are actually different. They are sort of slightly more muscular. Overall, she has like a great muscular physique, and it looks really good. Articulation-wise, she's got great articulation. As with all like the female figures, I kind of wish she had double elbows rather than a single, but apart from that, everything else is good. As you might tell, she's, or you might be able to see, shall I say, she's using a stand, because for whatever reason, I can't get this figure to stand on its own 99% of the time, so yeah. When it comes to accessories, this figure doesn't really come with anything except for the Build-A-Figure parts. Except for a alternate pair of hands. She has fists, and she has these ones that I think came from the Scarlet Witch. They're sort of like hexing hands. They don't really work for the character. Just giving her, like, opening hands would be, just sort of like relaxed open hands would have been a better choice maybe, or holding hands so she could, I don't know, hold some weapons, or just, I don't know, I don't dislike them, they work as hands, they just don't suit the figure all that well. Okay, so let's compare Jocasta to some other figures in my collection. Up first here we have the Ultimate Spider-Man, a smaller Marvel Legends figure. Yeah, they look good together, she stacks quite well. Here she is next to her future enemy, Iron Man 2020, and god, that's like shiny plastic between the two of them. Yeah, they look good. They've both got a very strange, the same design language I think is prevalent between the two. Here she's next to a larger Marvel Legends figure, Venom. Yeah, again, looks good. No arguments there. Here she is next to the only figure in my collection that is even harder to stand than she is, Gwen Stacy. I mean, literally the number of times I have to shoot the two of these together because Gwen would just fall over. It's ridiculous. But yeah, they look good. I kind of wish I could maybe give Jocasta some of Gwen's clothes. I don't know, or if we get a female power suited figure. I mean, like a suit, not a power suit, not an Iron Man type of thing, but you know what I mean. And finally, here she is with one of the other female figures I've got, Silk. Silk's got a slightly more, slightly larger physique than the Gwen figure, but as you can see, Jocasta is still a lot thicker than she is. And I've got to stop saying thick in this review. Oh. But yeah, Jocasta fits really well on my shelf, and she looks good in the other figures. Okay, so final conclusion time. I really recommend getting this figure if you like Jocasta. I got it because I really like the character. But I can understand someone who doesn't have an attachment to the character just thinking, well, this isn't a great figure, this is a basic figure. But for me, it's one I wanted for a long while, and I've got it, so I'm really happy with her. Really makes me now want to go track down the Machine Man figure from the All-Father wave. I'm going to have to get the two of them together just because it's got to be done. Anyway, folks, that's my review. As always, stay safe, stay sane, and I'll see you next time. Ta-da!